Hi, it's Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and this is episode 1168 of No BS Job Search Advice Radio. Now, you may not know this if you're a new listener, but this is the number one show in Apple Podcasts about job hunting. More episodes by 50% over the number two show, which I also have, which is called Job Search Radio. This show comes out 7 days a week. Job Search Radio comes out 6 days a week. 13 episodes a week of bite-sized morsels of information designed to help you find work. And today's show is about one of those job search mistakes people make way too often, and I call it being a drone. And I give an example of two people who did not comply and wound up winning. Hope you find this helpful. Hope you don't run into these situations, but if you do, I hope you do not behave. And by the way, ask me to lunch. We do it online through Zoom, 12:30 Eastern Time, $175. Let's sit down, have lunch. I answer your questions about job hunting, and let us get going. Oh, to do that, by the way, connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/the Big Game Hunter. Once we're connected, message me and we'll schedule a time to speak. Now, with that, let's get going.
Now, there were two articles I've seen recently that really spoke well to unconventional responses to unconventional situations. The first one was a cover letter story. Now, it involved an intern, and the young man, and I know it was a young man, wrote to a senior individual at a fund or an investment firm in New York. It's probably the better way to describe them. And what he did, very simply, was write a letter that basically said, I know I've gone to a mediocre school, and I had good grades at a bad school, and you normally don't hire people like me. You consider people like me for internships. However, what I'll do is whatever you want me to do. You want me to get coffee, I'll get coffee. You want me to shine shoes, I'll shine shoes. Whatever it takes, I will do in order to get this opportunity. And he wound up getting hired for the internship, and he's there now on full-time staff. So what does this really say? Well, I'll give you another example. This one came from an article I saw yesterday on LinkedIn that Liz Ryan wrote. And the article basically described a situation where a woman went for an interview. She's kept waiting for about 15 minutes. And at that point, she's invited in to speak with HR. And HR has a cup of coffee and doesn't offer her anything. So she responds by saying, oh, coffee, great. I haven't had a chance to have any today. Can I have a cup as well? And the HR person was kind of stunned and kind of pointed toward where the break room was, where someone helped her with getting a cup, which was the guest mug and things like that. And then she comes back and she sits down in the interview room with the HR person, who then says, you have 20 minutes, impress me. And the response that she gave was, if that's what you want me to do, I'll just sit here and have my coffee and you can leave. But I have no intention of doing that. So after a minute or two of a stare down, the person started to ask her conventional questions. She didn't expect to hear back, but did a day or two later from the hiring manager, who said, I heard that you had spunk and I'd like to talk with you. Now, whether there's a message that you take away from here, I hope the one is they're looking for real people. They're not looking for clones. And if they are, it's not going to be you. Do not conform to behavioral things that are going to subjugate you to torment, particularly on a first interview. If you're in a situation where you're trying to get an internship or trying to break into a firm, taking the tried and true method is going to get you the tried and true results. Better to do something that makes you stand out. I'll also go the extra step of saying that if you're put in the situation of having a tormenting interview like this woman was offered up, best to kind of slap it away, because obviously you wouldn't want to go to work there anyway, and get to the other side. In her case, she was able to break down the resistance to that the HR person had to giving a more typical interview, and got invited onto the hiring manager. Maybe that works for you. Maybe it doesn't. But so what? It's not like if they're not going to allow you to get any further because you're not going to be a performing monkey with an organ grinder there for them, trying to guess what it is that they want you to do in order to move on. That you're going to want to move on to the next person, that you're going to want to work for their firm. Better to just do something different and break down the doors in as gentle a way as this woman did, and move on.
So that's today's show. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, here are a few ways to engage with me. First of all, I just want to start by saying that I no longer do recruiting. I coach people to perform at a high level. So again, I no longer do recruiting. But if you visit my website, which is thebiggamehunter.us, and look at the tabs on the top, you'll see a menu of choices available to you. First of all, you can hire me to do a resume and or LinkedIn profile critique, interview preparation, help you with a salary negotiation, answer your questions about your job search, advise you about a decision you have to make about a job offer. Those are all there as an option. I can do a job search makeover with you, where we critique everything you've been doing in your search up until that point and come up with alternatives. If you're relatively early in your search, we can do a complete coaching program where I work with you from beginning to end in half-hour increments so it doesn't have to take a lot of time for each session. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/The Big Game Hunter. Mention that you listen to the show because I love hearing from folks who like it and are interested in my help. Again, linkedin.com/IN/The Big Game Hunter. You can take my classes on Skillshare too and become a premium member for 99 cents for the first few months. I have a link in the show notes. Just follow that link, sign up, take my classes. Lastly, I want to mention to you, you can find a lot of information at thebiggamehunter.us, and at times it may seem like it's too much. So you can look at the best of my material at jobsearchcoachinghq.com, where I've curated information that you can watch, listen to, or read to help you find work more quickly. Again, that's jobsearchcoachinghq.com. I'll be back tomorrow with more, and in the meantime, I hope you have a great day. Take care.